Let's now look at the technique of downward arrowing, a technique that's very closely associated with Socratic method. What is downward arrowing? Well, downward arrowing is the systematic unpacking of details of a client's experience. We use questions like, just what went through your mind, or what feelings did you experience? And at that time, what did it mean to you? So we're using very analytic questions in our practice of downward arrowing. Now, if we continue with our downward arrowing, we often get to what Fennell has called the bottom line. And the bottom line is the constellation of fundamental beliefs that a person holds about themselves, about others in the world, and about the future. Beliefs like, I am bad, others are malevolent, the future is hopeless. And the bottom line is often a bottom triangle because these three beliefs, or three levels of belief, are often interactive. Let's just look at some examples of that. Take the belief, I am bad. It's often caught up with others are judgmental, leading to the prediction, I will be abandoned. And anyone who has the belief, I will be abandoned, has fuel to keep the thought, I am bad, alive. So when we carry out downward arrowing, we often get to a point where we find ourselves going around this triangle. When you've done that, you know that you've unpacked as deeply as you can go. Let's have another look at another example. This is a more positive example. I am superior. Others are inferior. What does that mean for the future? It means I can do as I please. And anyone who's wandering around with the belief I can do as I please is going to continue to feel superior. So this is a very narcissistic triad of beliefs. But again, it's there just as an illustration of how these types of core beliefs interact such that there's often a triangle of core beliefs fundamental to clients presenting difficulties. I'd like to show you some downward arrowing actually in action now. And again, this is an exercise carried out with Jo, the young woman with bulimia. And first of all, I want us to look at downward arrowing done badly. So after you'd eaten the bread roll, you said you felt terrible and you thought, well, now I've done it. Can you tell me what it meant to you, that now I've done it? What was so bad about that?
It meant that I'd broken my diet that I was on. You know, I shouldn't have eaten the roll.
Right. And what was so bad about that? What was so bad about breaking your diet?
That I'll just get fatter. And I won't be in control of what I'm eating.
And what's so bad about that? About being fatter and not being in control of your eating? What's so bad about that?
That I won't stop eating. You know, I'll carry on and just get bigger.
And if you did get bigger, what would be so bad about that?
It meant that I'd failed. That because I haven't kept to the diet that I should have done.
Right. And if you had failed, what would have been bad about that for you?
It just means that I'm a weak person. I'm a weak failure.
And if you were a weak failure, what would be so bad about that?
That I'm just a weak-backed failure, and I'm just going to get fatter.
A weak-backed failure, and I'm just going to get fatter. Can you tell me a bit more about what that means to you? What's so bad about being a weak-backed failure?
I don't want to pursue this. It's too difficult.
Okay. Let's think of why that illustrates downward arrowing done badly. Well, it lacked an explanation. The therapist just launched in. Some clients can tolerate that. Some clients can't tolerate it. It's too much, too fast. It was monotonous. Although what's so bad about that can be a useful Socratic question from time to time, its overuse is monotonous and begins to spell insensitivity. And that came through loud and clear in that role play. The therapist was very insensitive to what Jo was feeling, how Jo was handling this barrage of questions. And as you saw, the session ended quite unfruitfully. So let's look at downward arrowing carried out a better way. So when you'd eaten that bread roll and you felt bad about it and you thought, well, now I've done it, I'm interested to know a little bit more about what was behind that thought. Is it okay if we explore that a bit?
Sure.
Okay. And if it gets a bit too much, just tell me to back off.
Okay,
that'll be fine. But right now, I'm wondering what it meant to you to have eaten the roll, what it meant to you when you had that thought, now I've done it.
It meant that I'd broken my diet that I should have kept to.
Mm-hmm. And for you, if you break your diet, what does that mean to you?
It means I've totally failed, that I should have stuck to the diet.
Right, so breaking your diet means you've totally failed. And let's just for a moment, imagine that you're back there feeling I've totally failed. For you, what's so bad about that? What does that mean to you, that sense of I've failed?
It means that I'm not in control of the diet that I set out to stick to.
And if you're not in control, how does that leave you feeling? What does that mean to you?
It leaves me feeling ashamed, that I'm not in control, that I may as well not even be here.
You may not as well be here. Uh-huh. Do you ever think you'd take that forward? Do you ever think you'd harm yourself?
I think about it, but I don't believe I'd do it.
Mm-hmm. Why would you not harm yourself? Why would you not kill yourself?
I guess I've got people around me that need me, and that makes me not want to do it.
Right. Okay. So you have the thought that I might as well not be here, but actually you wouldn't kill yourself. You've got people around you that need you. Presumably you care about you. Yeah. But you do have some other bad feelings, don't you? You feel out of control, and that makes you feel ashamed. Can you tell me a bit more about what it means to you to feel out of control? Why that's so bad for you?
I guess it comes back to feeling that I failed in what I started off to do.
And it's really sounding as though that sense that you failed is something that's very difficult for you. I mean, it's come up once or twice now. What if you can bear to stay with it just for a while? For you, what does it mean to have failed?
It just reminds me of what my aunt said to me, that I'm just a weak back failure.
That looked like quite a difficult thing to say. Is it a very painful thing to reflect on? Weak-backed failure.
Makes me feel very upset and very embarrassed.
I'm not quite sure what it means. Are you able to tell me what it means to you? What is a weak-backed failure?
It's somebody that is a weakling, somebody that never stands up for themselves, lets people walk all over them, and somebody that will never achieve, just be there and not, achieve what they want to achieve.
So let me see if I've got this right. When you were eating the extra bread, you had this thought, now I've done it. And it sounds as though underneath that thought are a lot of other fears and worries. And the bottom line is, this means I'm a weak-backed failure. And being a weak-backed failure is something that's very upsetting and has got pretty alarming consequences. Never achieve anything, never stand up for yourself. And I suppose that's leaving me thinking it's no wonder you felt so bad on that night. If eating the bread actually taps into such a powerful thought, like I'm a weak-backed failure, it seems to me quite understandable that you felt so bad on that night. How does that strike you, hearing me say that?
It makes sense, really, when you look at it like that.
So why was this exercise better? Well, perhaps most importantly, the therapist was cautious and sensitive. The therapist paced the questions better, checked out the client's resilience, and was generally much more reactive to the client's responses. The questions were varied, which again communicates more sensitivity. The questions reflected where the client was and how the client was feeling. And because the questions resulted in a much more productive session, then it was possible to carry out a very important risk assessment. The client was at ease enough and trustful enough to share with the therapist her suicidal thoughts. And the whole exercise was suffused with summaries so that the client could appreciate that the therapist had been listening, the client was given an opportunity to iron out kinks in the therapist's understanding. So in summary then, what can we say about downward arrowing? Well, first of all, it's a very efficient technique, but it's a very powerful technique, as I hope you saw in the first role play. And so the second point is that it must be carried out with great sensitivity and caution. And the third point that I think we should take away is that you don't have to get down to the bottom line. There's plenty of work we can do at levels of downward arrowing that don't reach the bottom line, but reveal important negative automatic thoughts and important assumptions that we can offer clients relief from.